since you asked me to make a Shadow Priest guide, let's speak fast about the Shadow Priest. It's really straightforward. So, as a Shadow Priest for raiding and Mythic Plus, you want to have something like this. You want 3 Spiteful Apparitions, 2 Chorus, and 1 Whisper of the Damned. These are the traits you want. Or you can have 3 Chorus, 2 Spiteful Apparitions, and 1 Whisper of the Damned. You always want to have 1 Whisper of the Damned because it generates extra insanity on crits, yeah? That's what you need to have. That's really important. If you have something else in the Shadow Priest, it's really bad. So you want to go for these traits if you want to do damage. Another thing, in order to be really fast and smooth, as a Shadow Priest, you don't rely on Mastery, you don't rely on Versa, you don't rely on that stats. What you want as a Shadow Priest, you need to understand, it's Crit Haste. That's what you want to get. Crit Haste, nothing else. Crit Haste is your main target. If you have an item 475, it's Haste Mastery, and you have a 460 Crit Haste, you're going for Crit Haste all the time, even though it's lower. As you see, my item level in bags is 479, but I'm having a crit 474, yeah? You don't want to get above 40 corruption, you always want to be below 40 corruption. As you see, this is like the best corruption you can get on the Shadow Priest. Expedient, then you have Severe, then you have Void Ritual, then you can put Twisted Appendage, and Gushing Wounds. What else you can put in the Shadow Priest, which is not bad, not good, but it's okayish. I had it, there you go. Strikethrough, you see? Strikethrough is good, not amazing, but it's good. It seems lower than Severe. You want stat stick items, stat stick corruption on the Shadow Priest. You don't care about procs, you don't like RNG. As a Shadow Priest, if you want to do a lot of damage, you want to have stat sticks. As I said, Expedient is Prio, Severe is the secondary, Void Ritual is the third one, and then Twisted Appendage, you know, the Mind Flame which you are having. Another thing really fast, speaking about Shadow Priest, what trinkets and what's your peace items. Peace items, as I said, these are your Azerite, yeah, which you want to get. Titan Shard is your best trinket and you'll never swap it, and Psych Shredder. That's like your beast trinkets, you never swap them, because a single target, because it's AoE, you always have these trinkets equipped as a Shadow Priest. Regarding enchants, because we can speak about enchants, quick navigation or deadly navigation, enchants haste or crit, gems crit or haste, depends a lot what stats do you have. If you are new on the Shadow Priest, I would recommend having more haste than crit, because you'll get used to stay longer in void forms. Your full damage relies on your void forms. Longer the void form is, more damage you will do. If you, let's say, if you fuck up void form, you'll see like your damage won't ramp up, because as I'll show you here, this is like the top damage what you'll have on a Shadow Priest. Shadow Aparitions, even though I have 2 traits, I want to get a third one, but I'm not lucky. Then you have Vampiric Touch, Shadow War Pain, Void Ball, Shadow Ward, Void, yeah? Regarding what essences you want to use as a Shadow Priest, it's really easy. So, as a major, you want to use Memory of Lucid Dreams almost all the time in raid, no matter if it's a single fight or an AoE fight. What you can choose and swap if you are progressing, let's say in an AoE fight, you can have Focusing Iris as a major and Memory of Lucid Dreams as a minor. Then you have Breath of the Dying, which you need to have all the time, Focusing Iris as a minor in case you are having Memory of Lucid Dreams as a major, Blood of the Enemy rank 3 as a minor. What you are swapping on some bosses, because they are aberrations, you swap Purification Protocol instead of like Blood of the Enemy. That's the only swaps you are doing on the Shadow Priest at the moment. Another thing, speaking about talents as a Shadow Priest, you want to run these talents, yeah, these are the talents. The only swap you are doing on raids is Twist of Fate with Misery. Twist of Fate, you always use it when it's a single target fight. When it's a multi-target fight, you go for Misery. Even though, for example, now we are progressing Il'gyanath Mythic, and I'm going for Twist of Fate, because I can keep my Twist of Fate uptime around 90% of the fight, which is really huge DPS increase as a Shadow Priest. So that's why you want to keep in mind how is your game style. I'll make you an example because I wanted to make you an example. Somehow I recorded, but I muted myself. Oh shit, I forgot. Wait. I wanted to show you something. Come on, get out of combat. So, I'll show you something so you understand a bit the Shadow Priest, how it goes as a Shadow Priest, yeah? Do you see, you saw my haste, it was 31%, look at my haste now, it's ramping up, yeah? Do you see my crit? Crit ain't a problem, because with Chorus gives you crit when you exit Void Form. Longer the periods of Void Form you're having, more crit you're having. And you'll see here, like on this target dummy, how you ramp up as a Shadow Priest. You need to understand you don't have burst damage, you are like a diesel machine. Yeah, diesel machine are not like, you know, you start them and you just go. You need to wait a bit, you know, you need to have patience, right? So here I'm getting out of 30 stacks, look at my crit, 81%. You see, that's what I'm speaking in. And it goes down till I exit the next Void Form. What you need to understand, another thing about Shadow Priest is your rotation is really simple. You put dots, you keep the dots on the targets all the time. Uptime, you need to have uptime on them. And for you, Mind Flay is a filler. If Void, Shadow War Void and Void Bolt is out of cooldown, you need to spam that. If you don't have anything to cast, you cast a filler that's Mind Flay. For example, here you'll see I'm ramping up. You want to use Memory of Lucid Dreams when you can't stay any longer in your Void Form. What you should try, you should get around 50 stacks in raid. 50 stacks, around 50 stacks is like your best Void Form. You can go above if you're used to the Shadow Priest. If you can't hold that much, that means you can get more haste and try to, you know, do longer periods of Void Form. As you see, your top damage will be Spiteful Apparitions. You see, these are the apparitions which are coming out of like the Shadow Priest. It's a really cool class. It's a really nice lore over it. It's a hard class to master. I can't say to you, oh, I'm the best Shadow Priest. I'm not. I'm still learning and I'm still trying to get my stats properly. Because at the moment, what you saw at the start, I want to get around 41% crit and 34% haste. Because I'm used to the Shadow Priest, so I'm used to like do Void Forms or like periods of Void Form, yeah? Another thing what you need to understand in Mythic Plus as a Shadow Priest. Regarding raids, Shadow Priest is really strong as a class, it's really good even for progression. It might be RNG till you get the proper stats, till you get the proper items on it, till you get the proper corruption. As I repeat myself, you want statistics, you don't want RNG. This game is full of RNG, you don't want to rely on RNG, because let's say sometimes you can have an infinite stars and it can proc, let's say 10 times in a minute, and you can have another fight and your infinite stars will proc 1 in a minute, so it will be frustrating. That's why I recommend to yourself, play with Expedient, Severe, Void Ritual. More Void Ritual you are having, better it will be for you as a Shadow Priest. In Mythic Plus, what you want to do, as I said, don't play over 40 corruption. Never play over 40 corruption, it's unneeded. There is not worth the risk. You want to play in Mythic Plus all the time. You're going like this. You're going with Focusing Iris as a major, yeah? Memory of Lucid Dreams as a minor. And these are the talents you want to go. If it's a really high key, let's say you're going to do a 20 or you're going to do, I don't know, 21, 22, right? And it's tyrannical week, you want to go with Twist of Fate. For Twist of Fate is really good if you're pushing high tyrannical keys. As a Shadow Priest, if you want to do and enjoy the Shadow Priest, your favorite week and your, I don't know, like the most mind-blowing week for you as a Shadow Priest, it's teaming with Fortified. You'll love it. Do you know why? Because you have multiple targets. Multiple targets for you is really good. If it's Fortified, they last longer, right? So they have more health, and you can ramp up as a Shadow Priest. That's the only problem with the Shadow Priest. You need to ramp up. If the tank doesn't chain pull and keeps pulling all the time, you as a Shadow Priest, you're kinda useless. That's sad, but you need to get used to that. So let's say he pulls a pack and then you run out of Void Form. Your stats, which you stacked here, crit and haste, they will go down and down and down. If you chain pulls, you can keep them up all the time, so you can compete with other classes, even though you cannot compete with Twilight Devastation, because that's the game. They don't like Shadow Priest, yeah? They nerf the Shadow Priest to the ground. So, reminder, that's your best thing. Stat sticks, crit haste as a main Prio stat. That's your main Prio stat. You don't want to get Mastery, you don't want to get Versa. Look here, I have crit Versa, I have crit Mastery. Yes, why? I'll explain you why. For example, Expedient for me is huge. You want to get Expedient. This is the only exception. If you have Expedient rank 3 and it gives me 20 corruption, guys. 20 corruption, which is, I don't know, it's the best. 20 corruption for Expedient 3, increasing the amount of haste you gave from all the sources by 12% is huge, yeah? As you see here, I have the Mind Flay indeed trade, because like that I got the ring. Otherwise I would have had, let's say, I don't know, Void Ritual or something else. So you will need to work around your stats. Stats are Prio for a Shadow Priest. And another thing, if you don't have these traits as Shadow Priest, let's say you don't have 3 Spiteful Apparitions, or even 2 Spiteful Apparitions, 3 Chorus and 1 Whisper of the Damned, you won't be able to do as much as you should do. If you have any questions, guys, please let me know. I'm streaming daily on Twitch. Another utility which people don't understand, because of the Shadow Priest, you have indeed 2 interrupts. Because you do have 2 interrupts. You have Silence, which is 45 seconds, and that's why you play with Psychic Horror, right? It's another interrupt. It terrifies and stuns the target. And what you have, another utility, is like Psychic Stream. You must, yeah? You must fear. It's 5 enemies indeed, but like it's a must fear, and it helps because it mass interrupts. What people don't understand, another thing which is really useful from the Shadow Priest, is like Vampiric Embrace. Vampiric Embrace, if you use it properly and you know how to use it, you'll see that overall, let's say on a dungeon, you'll have 15k to 16k healing per second as a Shadow Priest. Shadow Priest is really, really strong, guys. And remember, what you need to get as a food is baked portato, because they have more crit than haste. You always want to have, let's say, around 37% crit and above haste, 35% haste. Since I'm used more to the Shadow Priest, I'm going more crit than haste, because I can hold more periods of like void form. But this depends of your game style. You'll find it out how you can hold longer periods of void form. I explained you how to do the rotation. So the trick is like you have dispersion as well. Another thing which you can do with dispersion, I'll show you here. We're going in void form. I want you to see, you can use dispersion as offensive or defensive. Why? You want to use it, let's say if it's progression, you want to use it defensively, but if you are like in close kill, you want to use dispersion as offensive. Why? Your dots are ticking, yeah? You see your dots are ticking a lot. If I use now dispersion, it stops draining my insanity, right? So Shadow Ward gets out of cooldown, so I can extend a bit more, let's say, the void form. That's the trick about the insanity loss. You want to extend and keep longer and longer like your periods of void form. That's all about the Shadow Priest. If you have any questions, please leave them in the link below. Any thoughts, any doubts, just ask me, I'll answer. I'm streaming daily on Twitch if you want to see Shadow Priest gameplay. With this said, guys, if you want something else, if you want me to write other guides or like tell you about other guides, let me know in the comments and I'll do it. Thanks for the watch, and see ya on the next one. Bye bye.